What is up, y'all? It's your girl Nick Robinson back at it again, and today we are going to be talking about the Love Hotel, honey. Let's get into this episode 3 in season 1 of Bravo's Love Hotel. Okay, so this one is called Romance and Retrograde. So we see where the new men are here. They've come right out, and okay, immediately this James Earl Jones sound alike and Gizelle know each other. So essentially, Giselle dated his cousin back in high school. They remember each other. And, she liked the cousin, but it was just, high school. You don't really take anything too seriously in high school. And that was one of those things. And Ashley was like, oh, well, did you like the guy? And she was like, yeah, he was good. She was like, well, I wonder if it runs in the family. And Giselle was like, I don't know, Ashley, and I can't find out. Like, what are you doing? Because even though that was high school, it's kind of like, you try not to work within the same family. I know I don't, but that's neither here nor there. So his name was Edward, and they talk, they chit chat and everything like that, but they know it's not going to be a connection because he's not the type that's coming behind his cousin either, even though that was a long time ago. Okay, it still matters. All right, so there's this guy named Jason. He's checking for Ashley. He's 37. Ashley is like 36. So they're around the same age. Ashley is trying to give the guys around her age bracket a chance instead of going for the daddies, like she call them. So, okay. He, and her are talking and everything like that. Something about his demeanor and voice kind of gives me a little something, but I don't know. I'm just going to leave that alone. Anyway, Luann is talking to two men at a time and getting to know them. Adam, the guy who she's getting to know, has the same birthday as her dad, 717. And it sends her in kind of an emotional place because her dad has passed away. And, she loves her dad. And, seeing that the number 7 has significance in her life, and then this man is born on the same day as her dad, it does something emotionally to her, and I can understand that. Being somebody who loved their dad, lost their dad, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It would have sent me somewhere too. So she has a moment where she's overwhelmed and she has to just take a breather. And Adam feels bad because he was like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" Like, she's crying. I upset her. It wasn't you, sir. It was just the circumstances. It just happened that way. So mm, Ashley is feeling like, hey, Jason may be giving Wale a run for his money. Okay, that's what she's saying. And Wale is kind of mean mugging on the side, like, what's going on? Because he's not interested in any other woman but Ashley, which makes sense to me because Gizelle is out of his age range, in my opinion, and his as well. And Luann and Shannon are just not his type, which we understand that. So Ashley is who he's there for, but then Ashley is, showing interest in other guys, and she seems really interested in this Jason guy, so he's in his feelings a little bit, especially after being told that, he's not fun with Ashley. They're more serious, and his thing is, well, I'm answering the questions that Ashley's asking me, so the tone of our interaction, he's predicating on her. So it sounds like to me you need to get a little bit more fun because Ashley's a fun girl. Like, she likes to have a good time. She's upbeat. She's like bubbly. So yeah, you got to kind of match that a little bit so that she can keep her interest in you. Okay, so here we are. We see Shannon is also liking Adam. So will it be another Ralph situation where they're fighting over Ralph? Because all the ladies, wanted Ralph. Gizelle, Luann, and Shannon has shown much interest in Ralph. So will, this Adam guy, will he be in the same place where he can choose which woman he wants because they all want him? Okay, so we're gonna see what happens with that. As the night proceeds, Joel sits down with the ladies to just do a temperature check to see how they're feeling about the new men, and they are okay about the new men. Like, they're not really like, ooh, excited. It's kind of like, okay, we'll see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? He says that there's going to be a key ceremony. And Gizelle kept her key. She did not give a key out, which I don't blame her. So, of course, Luann gives Adam a key, and Shannon chooses James to give a key to, and Ashley, of course, gives her key to Jason. So, the rest of the men, whoever didn't get a key, had to leave, and that's okay. So, the next day, we see where Ashley's leading yoga, and they're on the beach, and that's an Ashley thing to do. Noticing that Ralph, is very fit. Like we see the guns on Ralph. He has abs, and he's a 61-year-old man. So that's really good because when you get older, man or woman, you lose muscle tone, and you kind of have to work really hard. So the fact that he has maintained so well is impressive, I must say. So the muscles go along with his good looks, right? So once again, Jason and Ashley are bonding, and Wale is kind of like just don't know how to, navigate the situation. Luann helped him the last time with what to do to keep Ashley's attention, but he's seems like to me on his own, unsure what to do. And I know it's like an odd situation because here you are, you dating somebody, and they are allowed to like date right in front of you. I don't think I could do that. I don't like, I wouldn't put myself in that situation to have to see that. I mean, because it's not like this person. It's not like you are in a relationship with this person, but it's kind of like, I just don't want to have to see that. That's just me personally. I would rather be the one that's choosing who I can date. But I mean, it is what it is. They signed up for this. So what do you expect? Um, okay, so let's see. Gizelle and Ralph. They are talking, and Ralph says that he likes making candles. That's something that Gizelle likes to do as well. So, we're seeing that they have something in common. So that's always good. I mean, making candles is cool, I guess. I've never done it. But that's what they can bond over. Like doing things like shared activities. She already likes him because, he looks good and stuff like that. But finding that you have a shared activity with somebody is real cool. Like I think that that's dope. So yeah, they like each other. Ralph also makes his intentions known to Gizelle that he wants to like pursue her for real. And she was like, okay, pursue me. Like I'm good with that because that's who she wanted anyway. So, okay. Um, Luann and James are hitting it off, and they find that they have a lot in common, as in the Europe background. Like he is familiar with Europe, she is as well. So they're talking about that, and it's kind of like Adam and James are kind of trying to like they making a sandwich out of Luann, trying to get her attention, and they're sitting on this little patio furniture together and stuff. It's like dog eat dog basically. It's kind of like, okay, I gotta make myself impressive to this woman, and so is this other guy. Like I mean, who can bond over a shared experience like Europe? Everybody doesn't have that experience. So I'm pretty sure that's why they brought him there to, kind of navigate Luann having a chance at, finding a connection, which I'm glad they were thinking about all of those things. So, you know, um, let's see. Jay. Now Jay is kind of fading in the background for Gizelle. He's more serious and stuff like that, and Gizelle was telling all the men, she was like, listen, you have to put your best self forward. You know what I'm saying? You have to, because how are we going to get to know you if you don't? And Jay was saying how he is kind of holding back, and she was like, I mean, if you holding back, then you're gonna lose out, basically. That's what she's saying. And he was saying there are more layers to him, so maybe was him come out of his shell. I don't know, but he doesn't have Gizelle attention like that. He really don't. He gonna have to get it, because if he wants Gizelle, which that's the only woman he's there for, he gonna have to put in some work. Because I mean, hey, Gizelle is moving on, moving along, baby. She popping. So you're gonna have to do something, and I wonder what he's gonna do, if anything. Okay. Um. So yeah, let's see. Shannon is talking about Earl with Joel. She's in her room. She's having a hard day because it's a year to the day of when she got her DUI. And it's just a momentous day for her. She's having a hard time. And, Joel had to tell her, in spite of your mistakes, you are worthy and you are a great person. One event doesn't define who you are. And he's kind of, trying to build her up because she is lacking that self-confidence and, self-esteem because she's allowing her mistake to define who she is. So it was really sweet to see that moment. And, to remind her that, Shannon, you are a prize. We're all flawed, Shannon. Like, you don't have to live in your mistake. You can transcend it. You can move forward. And if I was coaching her, I would tell her, Shannon, like, a mistake is a mistake, right? However, don't make it a lifestyle. Don't make it to where you get in, behind the wheel, drunk all the time, and you doing things to risk yourself and others. Like, at that point, it becomes a lifestyle, and you have to eradicate that behavior. If it was just a one-time thing, then let it stay there. Don't keep picking it up. Use it as a building block to who you're trying to be, and as a reminder of where you were and where you're coming from. That's what I would tell her. But don't let it define who you are, and especially don't let it make you feel like you're not worthy. Like, you are worthy. You are. And every day that we wake up, you get a chance to do it over again. You get a chance to start over. You get a chance to be better. And we all have things we have to overcome. So here we are. She, was saying that she just needs time. I think that this was not a right time for Shannon to do something like this. She has a lot going on inside. And when you have a lot going on inside like that, you have to you're not going to be whole. No one is whole all the time. No one is perfect, right? That's not what I'm saying. But, for you not to really understand your worth and value and then trying to bring somebody into that, it could lead to you trying to validate yourself through the relationship or through the person. And that's never going to work. It's not going to work because you have to have your own self-value and worth. Okay? So, anyway, like I said, they have the rooftop dinner. It's beautiful up there. They all look nice and everything. Gizelle is sitting between Phil and Jay, but her and Ralph are talking to each other across the table. So obviously that's who got her attention. I mean, like, you sit between two men that want you, but the one you want is across the table and y'all talking to each other. And he talking to you. He ain't talking to nobody else. So it's obvious that those two, one of the two, if not both, is finna be out of here. They ain't made no impression on Gizelle. Even Phil with the money. It's like, what you got going on, Phil, aside from the money? You know what I'm saying? So, all right. What caught my attention was, the conversation between Wale and Ashley and how she was telling him we need to have more fun. You know what I'm saying? And Wale is like, you are trying not to like me. Like, you trying to find an excuse not to like me. And Ashley was like, well, I think we just need to kind of take a pause. You know what I'm saying? So she kind of backing up from him. Is he right about that? I don't know. I mean, if you're not clicking for her, you're just not clicking for her. Okay? So there's that. Phil and Shannon are talking about Callie. Because, Shannon is from OC and Phil lives in Cali as well. So they're bonding and talking, not bonding really, but like just having a conversation about Callie. And Earl feels left out of the conversation because he doesn't have any basis of knowledge of Callie. And so Phil was like, we're just having a conversation. You can still talk. It's not like you can't talk. But he was like, I don't know anything about it. My thing to Earl would have been, okay, Earl, if I could coach Earl, I would say, yeah, you don't know about Callie. Like, maybe you haven't even visited Callie, but you can still ask questions. You can still be engaged. You can still show that you care. Because if you are planning to have something with Shannon, you're going to have to go and see her at the very least. You're going to have to go and visit with her at the very least. So ask questions like, about food or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you may be interested in. Who hasn't, thought of Cali and been like, oh, I want to go see Napa Valley or whatever it is. I don't know. So then this whole thing about the vegetables comes up, and Earl was like, I don't eat vegetables. So then Shannon looks at him like, oh my God, like, you don't eat vegetables. And he was like, why does it look like you always want to slap me all the time? And she was just like, what? So it looks to me like they're touching on some triggers. He said that his ex was very hypercritical of him, and he feels that Shannon is critical of him. And Shannon feels that, like, his behavior towards her is triggering from her past relationship. And Earl is trying to say that, we can work through this. Just because we might have a moment that reminds us of our past does not make either one of us our exes. But Shannon, she's super sensitive right now, and so she walks away from the table crying and everything, and she's just done for the night. She's taking this spat with Earl really hard, and so the ladies come and try to see about her, but she's not coming out of her room. So there's that. We move on to the astrology reading, and the astrologer says that Luann gets bored easily. Duh, we can tell. That's nothing new. So she also says that when it comes to Gizelle, the key to connecting with Gizelle is a man that can feel. Because Gizelle always tries to hide her feelings. If he can show his emotion and show that her emotions are safe with him, then that's the key to connecting with her. Gizelle didn't even know that herself, because I don't think Gizelle really thought about what it's going to take to really connect with her, aside from being funny. You know what I mean? She did say that. But I can agree that Gizelle has to get in touch with her feminine emotions, because that is what's going to attract somebody and keep them, if that's what she wants. I think Gizelle is just scared. I mean, bottom line, she's scared because, when you are of a certain age, you do want to have somebody in your life. It feels good to have a partner. It feels good to have somebody that has your back. It feels good to be able to share yourself with somebody. It really does, that you can trust, though. And so the man who is for Gizelle, he will be able to make her feel comfortable in that way. And so that opened her eyes to what she's going to need in order to really take somebody seriously. Okay, so let's see. James kicks it up a notch and he massages Luann's feet. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. Who doesn't want a good massage? You know what I'm saying? So, he's making headway with her. She's letting him touch her feet, because I know for me, I'm like, ugh, don't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't know you like that, I get really upset with you touching me. That's just a pet peeve of mine. So she's getting comfortable with him and allowing him to do that. So, they go check on Shannon again. She's still crying, like, really badly. So the night goes on, and Ashley is at the bar with Jason, and they're trying to get to know each other. But then Shannon comes down, and she pulls Ashley's attention. Jason, bows out gracefully, and he wishes them a good night. He tells Shannon to be kind to herself. That was really sweet. And so, Shannon remembers the selfie that she took the night of her DUI. She was bloody. She was bruised up. She didn't even remember taking a photo. So Ashley was like, well, did you want to take another photo just to kind of bring it full circle? Tonight you look beautiful. You're in your right mind. You're in a beautiful place. So, take a photo. So, okay. She does that. And before the night wraps completely, Ashley reveals that she's been attracted to Raph the entire time. But check it, she does this in front of the two men that want her, Wale and Jason. So, of course, this throws Ralph in a place, because it's like, oh boy, he knows that Gizelle and Ashley are friends. And of course, Ashley is young. She's beautiful. Ralph is 61. Ashley is 36. She's young enough to be his daughter, but he's a man. So he looking like, oh man, like, what am I going to do? This beautiful young thing want me, and I've already told her friend that I'm pursuing her. So it's like, yikes. So I'm interested to see what happens with this dynamic because, yeah, it's all fair game. It is. But why is Ashley waiting so late to express her interest in him? Wow. I just thought she wasn't interested in him. But she is. And she finally let it out the bag. So clearly, she's intrigued by Jason, but he ain't cinching it for her. Wale, she's moving away from. Now she got her sights on Ralph. Whew. Y'all tell me what y'all think. This is going to be interesting to see. What is Ralph going to do? If I know men like I think I know men, he definitely ain't going to turn Ashley down. I mean, why would he? He's free to do what he want to do. And if there's a connection there, he's free to see it and he's free to pursue it. How is that going to go between Ashley and Gizelle, though? That's my question. I don't see Gizelle getting all up in arms about a man at the same time. It's like Ashley's known this whole time that she's liked him. So, but y'all tell me, what y'all thinking about the series. Tell me what y'all think about this episode. I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe, share all the good things. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.